Welcome to Murphy, Sam, and Jody after the show. And, I stayed awake way too long last night surfing around on the internet. Mm-hmm. It's, how one thing leads to another. It just drives
Murphy,
me.
it's the rabbit hole.
It is the rabbit hole. And so I didn't intend, but one place I landed I thought was cool, and I thought of you, Sam, immediately.
Aww.
There is something, I don't know if you've seen this story, floating above the earth right now that has been a mystery for the last couple of months until a few days ago.
Not that monolith they found in Utah, huh?
No, and you're going to have to explain that to me in a minute. I've seen pictures, and I'm like,
can I peace out?
Is this?
I'm joking.
No, and that made me think about what's the thing in England
What do you mean England?
With England with the rocks. What's that thing called?
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge, right? Yeah, the mystery of Stonehenge. Sorry.
The thing with the rocks.
I forgot.
Your teachers would be so proud, Murphy.
He's a tour guide. Yeah, we're going to see the thing with the rocks today.
So anyway, no, not the monolith, but I do want you to explain that to me in a second. What I saw last night, because I don't know. But no, what is floating around? It's an object that they think it's I forget 70 feet long or something like that, 30 feet long.
Well,
maybe.
Did we put it up there?
Well, that's what it turned out to be. But this is what's fascinating to me about this. Whatever this was floating close to the earth, not a real danger to us, but it was an object. They're like, this doesn't look like anything natural. It doesn't look like a comet. Doesn't look like a meteor. That it looked like something man-made.
Yeah.
And so before they assumed it came from Mars or some other place where there's other intelligent life, as we know,
bacteria does not count as intelligent life.
It turns out it's a leftover piece of space junk from a rocket that went up, that NASA sent up in 1966 as part of a failed mission to the moon. But what's crazy about this is it's actually gone around, orbited the sun, and come back.
Oh.
And the way that this guy figured it out, it was a scientist in Hawaii that I guess when he went and studied, he's like, well, the only way to figure this out is to let's go backwards. And he used a computer to track the orbit backwards in time to make a reverse prediction instead of a prediction for the future. Mm-hmm. And as he went back, its closest spot to the Earth where they think it could have been launched was at this particular day and month in 1966 when NASA launched this particular rocket.
That's kind of cool.
So that is what it is. It's a piece of space junk, and in another couple of weeks, it's going to start its next round around the sun, and I guess it'll take 50.
So it's not going to enter our atmosphere and burn up. It's just going to keep floating around.
No, for whatever reason, whatever crazy orbit it's in, it's going to continue to go around the sun, and in another 54 years, somebody's going to remind somebody, well, remember the time?
Yeah.
Well, wait.
So
this is a stupid question, but I have to know. Does he get anything for this? Is he just recognition?
You mean like a prize?
Is his life works? Is he so excited to have documented this because he has to record it all now?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I mean, if you're a scientist,
it's a huge accomplishment for him.
That's fulfillment, right?
I know. I know. I'm just saying.
That's big time reward, I would think.
What's his name?
I don't remember
Exactly.
Well, but but the thing
Poor
is,
guy.
Yeah. I was more fascinated with that, but I mean, I'm thinking to myself, wow, 54 years this thing was floating out there, it went around the sun, came back.
But I thought we kept track of all of our space junk.
Good question. You're right. I guess we do now. Maybe we didn't do a good job of it back then.
You keep track of what you know is our space junk.
Well, that's
but Murphy's
ours.
saying we didn't know that, though, until we didn't know what it was. Didn't you hear the beginning of the story?
Well, but we shot it up there, so we should know it was floating around.
Unless we thought it burned up or something.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Maybe that's for a scientist to answer. Maybe they weren't tracking that in 1966.
It's true.
I don't know. Maybe they were. But anyway, so I thought I thought about you, and
I
that's
was falling asleep, and that's what you were doing.
That's what kept me awake for an hour. It was one news story that led to the other, but it actually did come out of the one that you're talking about. And I didn't read that, I guess, because I wasn't interested enough.
But now he is.
Oh, but now I got to explain it.
So what is the mystery? It's a piece of mystery stainless steel that appeared and then disappeared, right?
Yeah, it showed up in Utah, was there for a week, then disappeared. And now another one has shown up, I think, in Romania.
Ooh.
And what is it?
It's just a mystery, whatever you just called it.
It's a mystery,
piece of stainless
space junk.
steel.
Okay, but what? I mean, how,
somebody's yanking somebody's leg. That's what I look at it as.
Pulling.
My professional
yanking
opinion.
chains and pulling legs.
Okay, somebody's pulling legs and yanking chains or whatever. It doesn't just show up. I mean, this is not a space mystery.
Okay.
Somebody's putting this stuff there at night when nobody's looking, and it's, oh, look at here, another one.
Yeah, well, you think somebody would be noticing or waiting? Or,
I would think when the first one disappeared in Utah, somebody would have had their eyes on it.
Yeah, right. Or you're looking for that van going down the street that has a mystery block in the back of it.
A big silver triangle sticking out the back. Right. What you got there? Nothing.
Right. Well, I was wondering even for a moment, is it a photoshopped hoax, or are people actually seeing this thing?
In the world we live in today,
Who
I have no
knows?
clue.
Yeah.
They showed people walking up to it and knocking on it, and oh, look, you can see rivets and you can hand in all of this stuff. And it's like, how do I know you're even there? How do I know that even exists?
I just think it's amazing to me that even with technology where it is and the fact that cameras are everywhere all over this planet now,
There's still mystery.
that anything theoretic, because that technically would be, well, not a UFO because it's not flying, right? So it's just a UO, an unidentified object.
Yeah.
But there's still, it's fascinating to me that people still fantasize that something mysterious could come from outer space and then just appear on the planet that is totally unexplained. And I guess anything's
It's like
possible.
crop circles and all that.
Yeah.
Eventually, it all gets explained. Somebody, after this lands 3 or 4 more times around the world, is going to come forth and say, it was an art project I was working on, and I've got pictures of it in all of these places.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's going to go, oh, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, doesn't Joaquin Phoenix do weird stuff like that every now and then? He just kind of
He
goes off
retired for a while, allegedly.
Became somebody else for a while.
But, with everything being tracked, like you're talking about tracking space junk, and as sophisticated as not only our military, but many, Russia's military, anything that comes into the atmosphere is probably going to be seen by some radar somewhere, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're not going to have something just show up out from outer space that's going to park itself on the planet.
No. That's why
Land
we
in
know,
your backyard.
That's why we know years in advance that the space junk is coming near us and, going to miss us by 3 million miles.
So no one still knows what this stainless steel mystery is.
Somebody does, but he's not talking yet, or she.
Well, I guess I'll be surfing the internet more tonight.
You can always call Sam.
Yeah.